Hello, thank you for visiting the Management Channel. In this particular team dynamic section, we're going to look at team problem solving method. So, what we're learning here is how teams solve problems, what factors help and disrupt a team's ability to solve a problem, examine the types of team problem solving methods, and learn what some of the techniques are that teams use to help in problem solving effort. Many companies today are using groups to problem solve or create new products and services, and sometimes in turn to just make decisions. Group decisions can make more informed decisions over just one individual deciding. You know what they say, 2 heads are better than 1, 4 or 5 are even better. They tend to define the problem better and generate more feasible solutions. Some disadvantages are that it takes considerably more time to make a decision, and 1 or 2 individuals can dominate the group discussions by being predominant, and thus limit the group's consideration to different problems, definitions, and alternative solutions. That's why it's vital to get everybody involved. Groupthink can occur in highly cohesive groups where group members feel pressure to agree with each other due to some kind of time constraint, budget constraint, or other situations. The effects of groupthink is it occurs when the participants' primary drive is to achieve group consensus. Without analyzing or without exploring any other options, they just want to come to a consensus together. Sometimes they grab at the first possible solution. Ways groupthink can negatively affect the meeting. Well, it limits information sharing. It limits critical thinking and critical analysis. It limits any open-minded discussions. And I emphasize, it blocks other potential ideas and solutions that might be worthy of hearing. Characteristic of groupthinks, there are 4 basic signs pointing to it. 1, the group feels it's morally right. Members filter negative or contrary information from the group leader. Challenging ideas or thoughts are censored, put down right away, and those who are dissenters are pressured into conformity. Ways to avoid groupthink is to be alert to assumptions, challenge, and analyze. Definitely promote and encourage open communication among all members. Encourage reluctant participants. Ask them directly for their input. What do you think? Assign a critical evaluator. Have someone argue every point, kind of like the devil's advocate. And sometimes invite an outside expert. It helps lend fresh insight into the situation. Most people believe that conflict is not good. However, there are 2 types of conflict, and one is good for groups, and that is the functional. It exists when disagreement and opposition supports the achievement of organizational goals, but the disagreement lasts until a consensus or compromise is reached. Dysfunctional exists when conflict prevents the achievement of organizational goals, which lead to missed objective and, unfortunately, decreased performance. The right kind of conflict, though, can lead to better group decision-making. There's a C-type conflict. It's a disagreement that focuses on problem and issue-related differences of opinion, kind of a cognitive conflict. Members disagree because different experiences and expertise lead to view the problem and solutions differently. There's also the A-type conflict. Disagreement that focuses on individual or personal issues. Affective conflict resulting in hostility, anger, resentment, and distrust among the members. This type pretty much undermines the team's effectiveness by disagreement due to personal rather than professional or logical reasons. The devil advocacy approach can be used to create some C-type conflict by assigning an individual the role of critic, thus criticizing and questioning the solution proposed. Dialectical inquiry can also create C-type by forcing decision makers to state the assumptions of a proposed solution and then generate a solution that is opposite of the proposed. Now, there are advantages for group involvement. There's better quality decisions. You get more alternatives and creative innovation. There's a better understanding because people ask more questions. There's a greater commitment because the team decides to do it together. It improves their morale and motivation, and it helps improve training in some team skills. The disadvantages are it takes more time. Sometimes there could be one or two people who dominate the entire group. It may lead to pressure for conformance or groupthink. You also have, if you allow it, social loafers, those who sit back and watch everybody else do everything. It may be because of a lack of responsibility. So, wasted time and slower decision making, takes longer to make a decision, workers are not productive, it costs more money to dedicate resources over time. Satisficing is when the groups are more likely to accept the fastest, easiest resolution, since nobody's really going to get the blame anyway. Domination and goal displacement. One group member could dominate group decision, and displacement occurs when individuals try to get the group to accept their preferred alternative. And then, as we mentioned, conformity and groupthink. Group may feel pressured to go with the group decisions to avoid conflict. Groupthink occurs when members withhold those opposing views. The biggest problem for teams is how to complete their task. They need to determine the nature of the task and how to complete it. Manage problems, obstacles encountered while working on the task. And there are two common problem-solving flaws. 1. Discuss until everyone agrees on the nature of the problem. And 2. The final stage is ignored, evaluating the solution. Does it work, or did you decide on something that isn't going to function? 3 approaches to group problem solving: descriptive, functional, and prescriptive. The descriptive approach examines how a group solves problems. Groups often argue about solutions before they even agree on what the actual problem is. Seasoned teams begin by identifying the problem and start by generating solutions. Strategies include selecting a solution at random, vote on the best solution, members suggest their favorite solution, or invent a new and novel solution. Functional approach is an attempt to improve ability to solve problems by understanding factors that help effective problem solving and those that disrupt. Factors that help improve group problem solving here: group needs to have intelligent problem solvers and critical thinkers. Process needs to be free of social, emotional, and political factors. Everyone should feel like they're safe in this environment to speak up. Gather data and research, define the problem correctly. And the group discussion has to be focused on the problem. Listen to minority members, not majority members only. Stay open-minded to a variety of options and opinions, and consider there could be a variety of options. Factors that hurt group problem solving are jumping to a quick solution just to solve the problem, and as mentioned, satisfying, agreement to avoid confrontation or disagreement, or avoiding hurting somebody's feelings. There could be a lack of effective communication, and perhaps the group discussion was not really focused on the root problem. There's a desire to reduce uncertainty or social conflict. There could be political pressures or loyalty issues. And worse yet, unequal power among the members of the group. The prescriptive approach is problem recognition and definition, problem analysis, generate solutions, select solutions, put them into place, evaluate them. If they don't work, go back to generate more. If they do work, continue onward. So it's a strategy encouraging groups to solve problems more effectively. Based on assumptions, group members should use rational problem-solving strategies and use a structured approach so that it'll lead to a more proper and correct solution. Steps for problem solving need to be the problem recognition, definition of the problem, an analysis of it, and often teams rush through the steps, focusing on the symptoms rather than the actual root cause. Problems may vary in the level of severity or familiarity, or could even be more complex. Groups vary in their level of desire and ability to analyze and resolve the problem because it might be too complex. Experience and performance may vary. Overconfident group may ignore some steps or problems. Finding an effective solution depends on developing high-quality alternatives. Alternatives, though, depend upon what? They should be on the knowledge and skills of their members, the environment of accepting open ideas and methods used, such as brainstorming or nominal group technique. And arriving at a good solution depends on good harmony and the efficient use of problem solving. Implementation and evaluation requires commitment and support from the group and from the management. The group plans how, when, and by whom it will be implemented. The evaluation requires how it was implemented and what are the results attained. Is there more action needed? And you want to ensure you have solved the root cause, not a surface symptom. Problem-solving team methods are like process mapping, creating a shared mental model of the problem, and facilitate team communication. A structured approach helps create better decisions, increase satisfaction with solutions attained, and a stronger commitment to implementation. Symptom identification begins by recognizing that a problem exists, and then the realization that most of the problem is hidden. Chart the unknowns and gathering data, inputting impressions and feeling, but separate the symptoms from the causes. You could use a criteria matrix. Once generated solutions exist, teams need to review the options. A matrix is used to help rate and evaluate alternatives to analyze and discuss the merits of each option chosen. It's performed by multiplying the rating for each criterion by the weight assigned for that criterion, and then summing up the generated 6 scores. The item with the best score overall would be the most likely choice. And it looks like this. Here you can see there's different criteria, different weight factors, and the scores given, and then the final score. I'll leave this with you for a moment. Please feel free to pause if you need more time. By doing this particular situation here and doing it with another decision, you can find the best score. Here, 3.9. Maybe the next one would be 4.2. Nominal group technique is a group brainstorming and decision-making process to where individual members first identify alternative solutions, and then they share them, evaluate them, and decide on an approach as a group. It helps group decision making by decreasing the A-type conflict. The Delphi technique is a unique technique, but it takes time and it's slow and cumbersome. It's a method in which members of a panel of experts respond to questions and to each other until reaching an agreement on an issue. It's the process of using a series of confidential questionnaires to refine the solution. But the process may take several iterations. It may have to go through 3 or 4 times. It's a very effective technique, but it's a slow process. Electronic brainstorming is a decision-making model in which group members use computers to build on each other's ideas and generate as many alternative solutions as possible. Disadvantages, however: number 1, it's not face-to-face. 2, production blocking. Disadvantage of face-to-face brainstorming in which a group member must wait to share an idea because another member is presenting an idea. And evaluation apprehension. Fear of what others will think of your ideas. Lack of confidence, and thus you don't offer it because you're not confident in your suggestion. Another way is the force field analysis, used to understand the factors that affect any change program, helps examine the driving and restraining factors, helps determine how to increase driving and reduce restraining factors. The force field is used to determine which strategy to implement. So you want to develop an action plan. It's a practical guide to translating the solution into reality, kind of like a step-by-step roadmap. The plans are established to implement the chosen course with contingency plans, and don't forget about those what if this goes wrong plan, and have alternative courses of action. Obviously, the plan is to be monitored and corrections or revisions made as necessary. So this ends this particular section, and we hope you'll take time to look at team problem solving tools. Thank you and have a great day.